I think most people would agree that Cream were at their absolute live best at the beginning of 1968, and four nights in particular from this period come to mind as representing the zenith of their creativity and power: the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th of March. Those were the dates of the now legendary concerts at Bill Graham's Fillmore East and Winterland venues in San Francisco. It is from those shows that we can hear Cream's finest live performances, including one of the best slow blues ever recorded, Sleepy Time Time from the live Cream album, and the iconic up-tempo blues Crossroads that was released on Wheels of Fire. Given the historical significance of those 4 days, it was with great pleasure that I recently received a copy of Cream, Clapton, Bruce and Baker, Sitting on Top of the World. The book was sent to me by the author, Edoardo Genzolini, whose meticulous research had enabled him to tell the story of these now famous concerts in great detail. Genzolini is a lifelong devotee and latterly a historian of the music and culture of the 1960s. Sitting on Top of the World is his second book, following on from the success of his first, which was The Who, Concert Memories from the Classic Years, 1964 to 1976. So what we have here is a nicely produced hardback book with pictorial covers, and straight away we see some heavyweight involvement with the names Bill Halverson, the renowned sound engineer who captured these 4 San Francisco nights on tape, and Tony Palmer, the director of the BBC documentary film of Cream's farewell concert from the Royal Albert Hall. We first get a summary of how the author came to be so immersed in this ultra-creative period in musical history, and it's not surprising to learn that he himself is a musician. Cream's formation and their early days, including their first steps into the USA via RKO's Murray the K show in New York, are given a few pages to set the scene leading up to their first real American tour. At this point we get into the book proper, and Genzolini gives us plenty of context for what was to come. We learn about Bill Graham, the power behind these 2 famous venues, and his journey from 11-year-old immigrant to influential concert promoter. Graham, we are told, was the first person to treat Cream with the professionalism and concern they deserved, and his role in the group's development is highlighted in the book, as Eric Clapton explains in a passage the book quotes from his autobiography. We were told by Bill that we could play anything we liked for as long as we liked, even if this meant us playing till dawn, and this is where we started openly exploring stuff. Anyone who grew up wanting to be a blues rock guitarist will remember the footage of a super cool Clapton demonstrating licks on his Fool SG, and we hear how this and the interviews with Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker were shot by director Tony Palmer on the morning of March the 2nd, 1968 at Winterland. Palmer recollects the day and shares his memories of watching and working with the band. We hear his impressions of how Cream were received on these early Winterland concerts, and he talks about their relationship with Robert Stigwood. While researching the book, Genzolini uncovered a previously unheard recording of the March the 3rd Fillmore concert. The tape had been made by a concert goer called Nick Schramm, and the book explains how he and his wife managed to sneak their recording equipment into the venues, despite the cloak of security measures that had been introduced to stop this very thing. One of the questions that is constantly being brought up and debated in the guitar world is the history of Clapton's ES-335. A photo taken at the Fillmore by John Peden emerged online fairly recently. It shows the guitar tech Bert Schrader handing Eric the Fool while getting ready to remove another guitar from around his neck. Whilst Eric is pictured from the back, we can clearly see that he is playing an ES guitar. Many took this as proof that he had the famous cherry red ES335 with him on this tour, and it seemed to give weight to another argument that it is the ES335 we hear on Crossroads. Genzolini's research clears this up and includes an eyewitness account of the evening by Paul Summer. In another chapter, Jack Bruce explains how Cream were essentially two bands, a studio band and a live band. The contrasting tracks on Wheels of Fire certainly confirm this. On the one hand, we have the carefully orchestrated and arranged tracks like Passing the Time and Deserted Cities of the Heart, and on the other we have the sheer raw live power of Crossroads, Spoonful, Train Time and Toad. The March the 7th to 10th concerts were recorded by sound engineer Bill Halverson and produced by Felix Pappalardi, who was also, of course, a key figure in their studio work. In Chapter 3, we get an exclusive account from Bill Halverson that gives us the inside story of the recordings, how he came to do them and how he did them, working with Pappalardi. Later in the book, there is an entertaining account from Billy Stapleton, how as a 19-year-old he found himself behind the scenes on these 4 nights. We hear what he did and what he witnessed. The book is lavishly illustrated with many previously unseen photographs from each of the 4 nights. There is a section where John Peden shares the story of Clapton's Fool SG. He also includes some of the clearest photographs of the guitar that I have ever seen. I've included a link below for your convenience to order the book from Amazon. Using the link will help support the channel with a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and found this review useful. Cheers for now.